Well, all right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television program in the history of the entire universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, Blackest Heart, and Lonesome Crown, all three books published by Simon & Schuster Saga Press. Today we're going to be reviewing the book Otherland, City of Blue Fire by Tad Williams. Now, I am rereading a lot of Tad Williams books while I'm in the hospital. Why am I in the hospital, you might ask? Well, if you've been following my channel for the last 4 months, you know I've had some medical issues. We won't rehash all those. If you want to watch those videos, just type in my last name, Durfee, and hospital, the word hospital, and those videos will magically appear upon your television screen, and you can see why I've been in the hospital. I'm still in the hospital, guys. And whilst I've been in the hospital, I've been reading a lot of Tad Williams, as well as losing a lot of weight. I went from 253 pounds in March to 180 pounds. I don't suggest losing weight by being sick. But anyway, we're going to be reviewing River of Blue Fire. Like I said, this is book number 2 in Tad Williams' Otherland series. Now, I have already previously reviewed about a year ago book number 1, City of Golden Shadow. If you want to watch my review of City of Golden Shadow, again, let me explain how the internet works, everybody. Type in my last name into your YouTube search bar, and then type in the title of the book, and that video review will magically appear upon your television screen or your phone or whatever you're doing your internet viewing on. I'm not here to judge you for that. Just watch the damn videos. I'm telling you how to get to them. Okay, so Tad Williams is one of my favorite authors. If we were at my house in my library, I would show you my signed copies, my signed hardcovers of all the Tad Williams books I have. But for the purposes of these videos, we've got the little paperbacks. The little paperbacks were easier to bring into the hospital. So River of Blue Fire, book number 2. Tad Williams, just one of the greatest writers. Probably in my top 5 favorite writers. He wrote Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series. He wrote the Shadowland series. He wrote, or the Shadow March series. He wrote, what else did he write? The Last King of Osten Ard. So, I've just enjoyed his work a lot. I know I have read the Otherland series from beginning to end, and we've got the other Otherland books here too. This is book number 3, which I just started yesterday. And this is a what is this? Yeah, Mountain of Black Glass. And then book number 4 is Sea of Silver Light. So I've got all 4 of the books here. And as you can tell, and I do this quite often just because we talk a lot about book covers and graphic design, because I love book covers and graphic design. I will show you that when we put all the books together, and this might be hard for me to do with one hand. I can't do it, but just trust me. All the spines match. So it looks really good on your shelf. I can't do any of this stuff one-handed. When I'm in my studio, when I'm in my television studio at home, I can do these video reviews. A lot of this stuff's going to get edited out. A lot of this crap's going to get edited out. But let's talk about the cover. First, let's give a review of the cover. All of these books have had great illustrations done by Michael Whelan. And I don't know if you can really see in this light. This hospital light is so harsh. But anyway, another great Michael Whelan cover. And if you got the hardcover versions of these They just look spectacular. The Michael Whalen paintings here just look spectacular. Okay, so I'm just going to read the back of this to give you an idea of what is going on in this series up to book number 2. So here we go. This science fiction series, it's kind of a virtual reality. I kind of compare it to it's a virtual reality based series where the characters go into virtual reality and have adventures and solve mysteries and things like that. Um, but the mysteries and adventures they're going on and the mysteries they need to solve, of course, have worldwide implications. Like, if they don't solve these mysteries, the entire world is going to be run or ruled by evil lords that run the internet. Now, of course, these books were written in the early to mid 90s, where the internet really was kind of a new thing. But I think Tad Williams does a really good job of predicting a lot of the technology that's going to be coming along, especially when it comes to virtual reality and artificial intelligence and gaming systems, and how people will actually enter into computers through their minds and game or go on adventures or just live alternative lifestyles whilst in the computer. But here we go. So, book number 2, and I'll just read the back of it real quick. In many ways, it is humankind's most stunning achievement, a private, multi-dimensional universe built over 2 generations by the greatest minds of the 21st century. But this most exclusive of places, known as Otherland, is also one of the world's best kept secrets, created and controlled by a private cartel known to those who know of their existence at all as the Grail Brotherhood. Through their purpose in creating Otherland, though their purpose in creating Otherland is a mystery, they have exacted a terrible price from humanity in the process, and even their highly organized global conspiracy cannot hide the nature of their crimes forever. And now a small band of adventurers, and this is where it's cool because the small band of adventurers is comprised of 9 sort of people that are questing through this virtual reality, and which is cool because that's how many were in the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring. How many adventurers? Oh my gosh, my tube feed. I didn't realize I had my tube feed. Anyway, pay no attention. Pay no attention to the grotesqueness that's going on in this video. Okay, so we've got these 9 adventurers, sort of a fellowship of adventurers, questing their way through this virtual reality, which is just bizarre. I liken it a lot to the story. Kind of reminds me a lot of Stephen King's Dark Tower, where they just go, like, even in Stephen King's Dark Tower, the characters kind of go from one weird reality to the next. None of it makes sense. It just always seems like they're in a dream. The landscape is ever changing. The rules of the landscape are changing. And that's kind of like the virtual reality adventure these characters are going through. And it's reminiscent of that. I compare the 2 series quite a bit to each other, although I do like Tad Williams' Otherland better than The Dark Tower. Although The Dark Tower is dope, don't get me wrong. So anyway, now this small band of adventurers have penetrated the veil of secrecy that prevents the uninitiated from entering Otherland, but have broken into the amazing worlds within worlds that make up this universe. They are trapped, unable to escape back to their own flesh and blood bodies in the real world. And as danger and circumstances split their party into small, wildly scattered groups, their only hope of reuniting lies in returning again and again to the blue river that flows in one form or another through all the worlds, the river of blue fire. Now, these adventurers and this landscape they're traveling through are the stars of the book, because the characters are very well drawn. I mean, we've got 9 of these adventurers. Let me see if I can remember them off the top of my head. Of course, there's Renee, and Zabu, the two South Americans, that they initially go into Otherland because Renee's brother is trapped there. His mind is trapped in Otherland, and they're going to rescue him. And they know that someone is sort of kidnapping, like virtual reality kidnapping young children and keeping them frozen in this virtual reality trap where their bodies are just laying comatose in the coma, kind of like I am. Just I feel like I'm comatose in a virtual reality. But anyway, their bodies are laying in a hospital bed somewhere just in a coma, but their minds are going through the virtual reality adventures. And someone's using these children for nefarious purposes whilst in the virtual reality world. And Renee and Zabu, Renee's younger brother is one of these children trapped. And so she takes her friend Zabu and they go into the virtual reality to try to save their brother. And then there's Orlando and Fredericks who go. They're two young children, 15-year-old nerdy kids that go into the virtual reality. Of course, they go in as they're fantasy characters because they play fantasy. They play like sort of a World of Warcraft and online in this VR world, and they kind of go as those characters. And then we've got Flora Mill, who's an old French woman. We've got T4B, who's shows up in the virtual reality as a robot, but nobody really knows who he is. And then we got Sweet William, who shows up in the virtual reality as kind of a vampire, but a real kind of rude, arrogant, smart-assy vampire. Well, that's kind of like most vampires. Anyway, there's that guy, and then there's gosh, who else is there? Sing. There's a couple of other characters that I should be remembering. So I just read the books. But anyway, it's Professor Singh and there should be one other. I don't know if I've done 9 so far. They're really important to the story, but I should know them. Let me go ahead and get this paper out because I got a note. I've got some notes, and I lost the notes. I'm gonna find the notes so I can get all this stuff correct. So yeah, it's Martine. Yeah, I talked about Florimel. Martine. No. Florimel is the French woman. Is the German woman. Martine is the French woman. Quan Li is the Chinese lady from Hong Kong. Yeah, I got them all. Sweet William the vampire, T4B my favorite characters though are none of those people. My favorite characters are the villains. And the villains kind of that are running this virtual reality sort of pretend that they are playing around in the universe of the Greek gods, so they pretend that they're gods in this universe, and they take on the persona of the Greek gods. But then the best villains are the assassins that work for this group of Greek gods, and the assassins are Dredd and his partner Anwin, and they go around. Not only do they assassinate people in the real world, but they assassinate people in the VR world, and they are my 2 favorite characters. But anyway, these books are cool. I know this. I haven't done a book review in 4 months, guys. So this one was probably a little shaky, not as slick and well produced, nor even as interesting as some of my others. But anyway, that is my review of River of Blue Fire. I've really enjoyed reading these whilst in the hospital, and and I'm rereading them. I've read them before, but I'm rereading them, and I've enjoyed the rereading them, and I'm gonna give River of Blue Fire a solid 10 out of 10, as most of the Tad Williams books get 10s out of 10s from me.